we got to talk about Amazon, and I need to come to their defense. Before I even get into it, I need to explain what's happening and why I need to defend them. Now, Amazon, as you see by the graphic right over my head here, right behind my head, actually, they have a new headquarters. It's called HQ2. It's split up into two cities. Well, three cities, really, but mainly two. It's going to be in New York. It's also going to be in Northern Virginia, which is very close to D.C., basically in the D.C. metro area. These cities have given Amazon a total of about $2 billion in tax breaks and incentives and whatnot to come to their city. Mind you, there were 238 cities vying for Amazon's business. 238 cities in the U.S. So this was something that a lot of people were competing for. A lot of cities were competing for to get these jobs, high-paying, high-skilled jobs. Some not so high-paying, some not so high-skilled, but regardless of what, it's, a big deal to get Amazon to come to your city. Now, there's controversy here. People like Alexandria Ocasio Cortez have come out and said this money could have been spent better. It could have gone towards crumbling infrastructure, the New York subway system, and whatnot. And my man right here, Tucker Carlson from Fox News, kind of agrees with her. Now, let's get into this video to see exactly what he says here. I'm not the biggest fan of Amazon, but I do have Amazon Prime. I use Amazon a lot. Although I know that they're not a perfect company, I need to defend them in business in general here in this video. So let's get straight into it and see exactly what's going on.
Well, news from the tech front tonight. Amazon has announced after months of hype that it's building two new headquarter facilities, one outside New York City and the other outside Washington in Arlington, Virginia, in return for bestowing his grace on America's two richest cities.
Now, let's pause right there. Just because you have rich cities does not mean that everybody that is there is rich. It's a lot of poor people in New York that don't have jobs. You got homeless people everywhere. I mean, the same thing with California. I mean, go to San Francisco. There's a lot of money there, but also a lot of homeless people with nothing. Same thing with Los Angeles. A lot of these major cities have people that are not doing very well. There's a lot of money in the city, yes, but not everybody's doing very well. So you can't really scoff at Amazon coming to a place to bring jobs there.
Jeff Bezos, who is the world's richest man, will receive more than $2 billion in subsidies from you, the taxpayer. Well, new Congresswoman
Now, is that subsidies or is it tax breaks? That's not necessarily the same thing. But, hey, I could be wrong. Let's keep going, though.
Alexandria Ocasio Cortez had this to say today, quote, Amazon is a billion-dollar company. The idea that it will receive hundreds of millions of dollars in tax breaks at a time when our subway is crumbling and our communities need more investment, not less, is extremely concerning to residents here.
Now, okay, let's pause right there. Your community needs more investment. Now, if you're bringing 25,000 high-paying, high-skilled, and also not so high-skilled jobs that people in the community could use to bring more money into their own homes, to do more things for themselves, how is that not investing in the community? To me, that's exactly what that is. You got a lot of poor people that need jobs. Amazon's bringing 25,000 jobs. So why not? And again, like I said, you had 238 cities competing for this. So let's not act like this is just something that just, happens to just befall upon New York. But let's keep going.
Hate to admit it, but Alexandria Ocasio Cortez has a very good point.
Tucker Carl. Yeah, hey, I like you a lot, but sometimes you're not really on point. And I think this is one of those times. But let's keep going and see what he says.
Brian Brendenberg is Associate Professor of Business and Economics at the King's College, and he joins us tonight. Professor, thank you very much for coming on. That's the only time I've ever agreed with Alexandria Ocasio Cortez, but it's hard to argue with the internal logic of her point. The richest man in the world just got $2 billion in taxpayer subsidies. Well, how does that work?
It's not about making Jeff Bezos richer necessarily. It's about the city getting the benefit of these new jobs for their people. But let's keep going.
And he's been shopping around the country for 14 months, going to cities to see who will give him the best deal.
I mean, is he shopping or is that the cities are trying to shop him? You had 238 cities that were fighting. I was in Virginia, and I remember, you had a lot of the politicians, a lot of the regular people just trying to do things to attract Amazon there. I mean, think about it. When I was in Virginia, for those of you who know what I'm talking about, Portsmouth, Norfolk, a lot of people just not just underemployed, unemployed, and you could have Amazon come. Like, let's say they build a facility right there in downtown Norfolk or somewhere, Virginia Beach. I mean, that'll just be a big economic boost for the whole region. Not just Amazon's jobs that they have in their particular headquarters, but also the ancillary jobs, the subcontractors, the suppliers, the shipping, the trucking, all that can come as a result. So this is very important. It ain't just about my man right here, Jeff Bezos. It's about the economy of a place. But let's keep going.
And he's shaken down New York City for about $1.5 billion, and he's done something similar down in Northern Virginia. And again, the whole point is he's trying to cozy up the politicians so that they will give him and his company, a $200 billion company, the biggest tax breaks around and put them in a position where they can fend off competitors for years to come because they're cozy with the rule makers.
Wait, so you're saying that they're paying him to lobby them? And then you see Adam Schiff, the incoming chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, saying he's going to investigate the president for daring to criticize Jeff Bezos.
Oh, yeah, no.
It's making my head spin.
Jeff Bezos is moving into town because he wants to control these narratives. He wants to control what's happening in the halls of power. He's already hired $13 million worth of lobbying and 100 lobbyists to deal with this. Now he's going to put 20,000 more people right next to D.C. and Northern Virginia to make sure every time there's an issue that affects Amazon, he has boots on the ground in the halls of Congress, in the offices of politicians to get his preferences passed, even if it means consumers and other small businesses lose out. This is all about getting his hands on the levers of power.
Lobbyists don't have to necessarily be at a company that's right there. They can be all over the country. They can be on planes. They can live on the road, hotels. They can get stuff done that way. And they could be wherever they need to be to get things done. Just because you have an Amazon location in Northern Virginia, right outside of D.C., does not mean anything. That's really just kind of silly for him to say that. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's about jobs. Would you rather the jobs not be there? If Amazon says, okay, we have 25,000 jobs for your city, and we want to pick the best place, it's open for competition, what's wrong with the cities being able to give Amazon certain things to attract them there? We have a great location. We'll give you these tax breaks. We're good for business, low taxes. What's wrong with that? Maybe New York could have paid less in the money that they needed to get Amazon to get there if they did not have such high taxes. Because you're talking about tax subsidies and tax breaks. If their taxes weren't so high, it could have been what Northern Virginia paid, which is right around $500 million. 25,000 high-paying jobs, man, you got to ask yourself, is it worth it? If you are in an area where it's being considered, would you rather not have it and lose out, or give the tax breaks and gain it? You gain more by giving. That's how that works. But let's keep going.
Can I ask you a question as an American? I should just say I'm a property owner in the District of Columbia. This makes my property values go up, I guess.
So you benefit right there. Thank you for admitting it.
It's good for me. But having lived here for a long time, I can tell you the last thing we need is more money in Washington. It's rich enough.
It's rich enough? Tucker, do you hear yourself as rich enough? I mean, what kind of... See, this is the socialist type of thinking. You have enough money, you don't need any more. This is the kind of person, not necessarily Tucker, but this line of thinking. This is the type of thinking that would have somebody say we need a minimum wage and also a maximum wage. You can't get paid more than XYZ. And if you do get paid more than XYZ, we're going to tax you to the point where we're going to take all that's on top. That's why rich companies leave an area and take their jobs with them. It's so simple. I don't understand why my man can't get it. Tucker, he grew up in a nice kind of environment with money. Maybe he doesn't understand the working class kind of person. Now, I'm not trying to say Amazon is perfect. Don't get it twisted. I'm not a show for Amazon. Not at all. They have issues, like I said before, when it came to the whole minimum wage argument. However, Tucker Carlson and his man right here are just totally off base. I mean, we're talking about jobs, not mobs. Let's keep rocking.
Why wouldn't Amazon, subsidized by taxpayers, spread the wealth maybe to Detroit? Or
spread the wealth? What do you mean? See, this is why I'm getting triggered now. You're talking about you're making too much money, spread the wealth, and why not Detroit? I mean, Detroit can't give him a deal like DC or New York can, And then also, you got to be able to get people that want to come to Detroit and that are already there. I read some of what Amazon was talking about when they made the decision to go to DC and New York. and also in Nashville for the operations center. And their reasoning was very simple. It's a good deal tax-wise, and also it's a great pool of talent that's already right there. You know, is there a great pool of talent in Detroit? If that's the case, why is Detroit so poor?
Cleveland or Toledo or someplace that actually needs it. I don't understand.
Because, Tucker, Detroit isn't anywhere near Congress. Austin, Texas isn't anywhere near Congress. Dallas, whatever the city. This is purely a play for Amazon to buy political influence. They look around the world and they see potential competitors. They like being on top and they want to keep it that way. And the way to do that is to write the rules, to write the regulation. They are buying prime real estate where all of those rules are written. Amazon has gone from a company that disrupts industries to a company that stays on top by buying political influence.
That's exactly right. It's got a whole political party.
I don't get it.
Protecting it. It's
in its pocket.
Oh, okay. I think that's pretty much the end of that right there. So I don't have much more to say. I'm kind of disappointed at my man Tucker. Hopefully he gets to see this video. You can share it with him on Twitter or something like that. And hopefully he understands that what he's saying here is just not right. It's about business at the end of the day. Yes, maybe some political influence, but you don't have to be right there to get it. You can have your company be in the middle of Texas. You can be overseas and get influence. I mean, the reality is that Apple has some political influence, and most of their employees are not even in the U.S. Most of their employees are in China. Well, not technically, because Foxconn is his own company, subcontractor or whatever, but they got 1 million employees that all make iPhones and iPads. That's a different story, and I digress. But a lot of their companies over in California, but it still can fly to D.C. It ain't that far from L.A. to D.C., about 4 or 5 hours max, tops. So it ain't that far at the end of the day. You don't have to be right there is what I'm saying. It's all about jobs, not mobs. 25,000 new jobs. I think the people that are going to get hired by Amazon are not going to complain. I'm not going to complain. I know that they are not a perfect company. I said that before about the whole minimum wage thing. They're raising the price of Amazon Prime. They're doing raising prices in general. Took away certain benefits when it came to the pre-order of video games to cover up the $15 an hour minimum wage hike. But this is business. Walmart does this. A lot of other big companies, the tech industry does this. This ain't nothing new, man. So I think I pretty much leave it there. Oh, I got to say one more thing. In this piece, it should have been mentioned that Amazon is keeping these jobs on shore. 25,000 jobs in D.C. metro area. That's America. 25,000 jobs right up in New York. That's America. 1,000 jobs in Nashville, Tennessee. High paying, high skilled, some not so high paying, some not so high skilled, but jobs nonetheless. I think I pretty much beat that dead horse. So what do you think? Do you think I'm wrong here? Do you think that Amazon should not get any kind of tax breaks, tax incentives, or subsidies to come to a particular area? If that's your opinion, please explain to me why. And do you think that it would be better if a DC did not have the 25,000 jobs? You know, I've been to DC. I've been to DC twice this year. I got family up there. I know you got a lot of poor areas, people that need jobs, people that are getting pushed out of DC, going to PG County and stuff like that and languishing in poverty. Wouldn't they need those jobs? Just because you have a city that has money does not mean that there's nobody in a city that's broke and poor and needs money just like they do in Detroit. But am I right? Is the whole tax thing good because you just are incentivizing companies to come to your place and invest? Alexandria Ocasio Cortez said that she wants New York to invest in the community. Well, what's a better way of doing that than getting jobs for the community? Which want them just to fix some stuff for free, to put money into things that don't generate any revenue back, so you don't have any more money to put into the community for quote unquote free things. Whatever your comments are, please let me know.